Welcome, everybody. I'm Jacqueline Kane, Master Energy Healer and Low Back Pain Specialist, and welcome to the New Ways to Be Pain-Free webinar. I'm so excited you're here. And also, I hope you're sitting down for this one because 1 in 5 Americans live with chronic pain. 1 in 5. And at last count, an estimated 50 million adults in the US experience chronic pain. So think of all the people in your life. Many people you know, and maybe this is you, are dealing with aches and pains that you don't want to deal with. Along with chronic pain, 1 in 3 are experiencing stress and anxiety. That's 40 million adults in the US living with stress and anxiety. 1 in 3. Think about the quality of life when you are living in pain and anxiety. And it doesn't have to be the same pain issues or illnesses over and over again. It's just the stuff that happens to you over and over again, and they can last a while. So imagine what the quality of life is. And some of you already know what that is when you experience pain and anxiety. It's painful and exhausting. What you are going to hear about is it equates to a substantial cost in healthcare and costs us so much money when we are sick, and it takes away so much productivity from our day. And let's look at the human toll that 50 million Americans are suffering from physical pain right now. And again, add to that, 1 in 3 of us are experiencing situations that are giving us stress and anxiety. I know many of you can't relate to that, right? And seriously, it's a human condition. And what is it costing us in the US? It stops us from living our lives. It stops us from being happy and being present. We spend our moments worrying about what might happen instead of enjoying our family and friends in the moment. Today, I'm going to share with you 3 key points about physical health and physical pain so that you can identify and understand what might be going on in your world. And if it's not you, it's someone you know. Someone you love is probably dealing with something like this. So my goal today is for you to leave here having a better understanding of what's going on so you can better manage it. And I don't even like the word manage. I don't believe in pain management or stress management. I like to get rid of it. So today we're going to talk about what's causing the pain. Let's talk about how it affects you and then what we can do about it. So step 1, what's causing all this physical pain, the disorders, and emotional problems that everyone is living with? So raise your hand if you've ever heard of fibromyalgia. Have you ever heard of diverticulitis? Why do we even know what these things are? It's because these are some of the illnesses that people are dealing with, and it's such a major issue. In fact, it's such a major issue that I even wrote a book about it. In my book, The Energy Medicine Solution, Mind-Blowing Results to Live an Extraordinary Life, I say in the introduction that it's 2024. Shouldn't we be healthier? Instead, there's one new disease being discovered every single day. Isn't it interesting that we know the names of these illnesses? And I can tell you the names of these drugs, Cymbalta, all these other catchy phrases. And now they're even creating catchy songs that get stuck in my head. And it goes, I take my Jardiance once a day. Like, why do we even know that? I don't want that in my head. but it's everywhere in our culture. Millions of people are suffering, and we're hearing about it. And so, what's one thing that we all have in common that we know can cause pain in our bodies? Starts with an S and ends with an S. What is it? You got it. Stress. We all know what that is, and we can even relate to it. But my husband says to me, well, Jack, not everything is caused by stress. Sometimes you just hit your toe and you hurt yourself. Or sometimes you get a cold. In my book, I reference that people say, I was born with this condition and nothing so far has helped to relieve the symptoms. What really happens is that there's something in your life that's causing that low back pain or that neck pain and the shoulder pain. It's really not just the conditioning of our environment causing stress. What we are really finding out, and they are doing studies on, is that chronic pain, substance abuse, depression, Alzheimer's disease, all of these can be directly related to trauma that happened before. And I know when I say trauma, you are saying, I don't have any trauma. But things like your mother and father fighting all the time, you don't think of that as trauma. That was just normal in your life. The time your dad yelled at your mom so loud you thought he was going to hit her, that was trauma. When you walked across the street and you almost got hit by a car, but you didn't, that was trauma. When your grandmother told you you were fat, that was trauma. But I had trauma my whole life. I just didn't call it that. Or maybe your father was an alcoholic. That was trauma. We never think of it in this way. It was our life. And because we are so good at compartmentalizing things, we don't even acknowledge that we had trauma and we just push it away. And now you have chronic pain or anxiety as a result. And who knew? With my client Rose, we identified after the first session how much resentment she had been carrying because of all the times her parents were fighting and neglecting her. And it was like a light bulb went off, and she had no idea how much energy and emotion she was holding on to, and how she had created the belief in her childhood that she didn't deserve to be loved or cared for. These events caused lasting impacts on us emotionally and physically. And if you're watching, feel free to write in the comments what's coming up for you. Step 2, the other thing that's causing it is the emotions tied to your reaction to the stress. It's not the stress, it's how you react to it. And how you react to it not only is made in a moment by moment decision, but made by what happened 15 years ago or longer than that when you were in that same situation. Let's talk about how your emotions affect your physicality and your whole life. For example, my client Sally came to me with severe low back pain and fibromyalgia. She was not a person resigned to living a life with pain. And I asked her what has been happening in her life. She starts to tell me she's been stressed trying to clean and declutter the house while her husband continues to make a mess and is giving her more things to clean up. He's getting older and isn't aware that he's spilling his coffee on his way to his favorite recliner. Of course, she's understanding and suppresses a lot of that annoyance, which means she's storing that emotional annoyance in her body and only becomes aware of it when she's in severe pain. She's been conditioned as an Italian woman, and it doesn't matter that she's Italian. It's just that she's a woman and she was conditioned to be quiet and to keep going. Just do what needs to be done and keep going. She has now been able to release that energy of annoyance from her body and is living pain-free. Up until now, we've been talking about adults, and it's important to talk about kids. I'm talking about things that start in childhood that you don't even realize because it's your way of life. So think about this. 1 in 4 children who experience 4 or more dramatic situations, for example, your parents fighting or almost getting hit by a car, children who experience 4 or more of these experiences are 95% likely to be an adult with chronic pain. And the scary thing is that we don't even know we had those experiences because we file that away and put them away as that's life. And I feel it's really important to say this again. All childhood trauma increases a person's chances of suffering from chronic pain in adulthood by 45%. An estimated 50 million adults in the US experienced chronic pain in 2016, resulting in substantial healthcare loss and cost. Chronic pain is a debilitating condition that affects daily work and life activities for many adults in the United States. It's been linked to depression, Alzheimer's disease and related dementia conditions, higher suicide risk, and substance abuse and misuse. Step 3, what can we do about it? First, you become aware, and you may want to write this down. It's so important to become aware and have awareness. Because we are having this conversation now, you have a new awareness. You can't go back to the way you were. You now have new information. So you are getting clear in how it's impacting your life. In order to live pain-free, you have to become aware of energy and get clear on how it's impacting every area of your life. Because we are created as energy. When something happens in your life, big or small, there's energy with it. When you pet your dog or you play with your cat, you get energy that stays with you. So when your mom puts her arm around you and hugs you, you get an energy in your body from that. And that's why you feel good for hours afterwards. Also, when you come home with your report card and your parents say, "Why didn't you get an A?" That sticks in your body. When you get bullied in school, that sticks in your body. When your boss says you aren't pulling your weight, that sticks in your body. And every one of these things continue to come into our bodies and we do nothing to mitigate it. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about. I'm here to share with you that it could possibly be alleviated with the work we do together forever. So who here would like to release these patterns for good? Let's talk about energy. Notice the times when you feel something in your body. For example, you know how you can feel when you're afraid to say something and your throat feels like it's closing up. That's the energy in your body telling you, don't talk, stay safe. For me, I feel anxiety in my stomach. When you notice it, start to notice everything you're feeling in your body. Because when you notice it, you can do something about it. And when you notice this energy, ask yourself a couple questions. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? Do you feel this energy when you are around certain people or when you are doing certain tasks? Notice the pattern of when you feel this emotion. In my book on page 7, I take you through a process to release this energy. Let's take some time now to become aware of what energy you may be carrying. And if you have paper and pen, you can take some notes on some of your discoveries and ahas. So as long as you're not driving, let's start by taking 3 deep breaths and bring that breath all the way down your body into your toes. This helps you to get grounded in your body and become present to what you need to discover today. So for this moment, allow your mind to paint you a picture of when you were 5 or 6 or 7 and become aware of what was going on in your life at that time. Become aware of what you may have experienced and what was life like for you at that time. Was it nurturing or chaotic? Again, you are just becoming aware of this. And we are only visiting that time for your own self-discovery. Ask yourself, what beliefs did that younger you create about yourself and who you get to be in this life? And now ask yourself, are you ready to release those beliefs that are no longer serving you? And what is a new belief you would like to believe about yourself and your life now? And take another deep breath and honor that younger you who had a lot going on. And send love and compassion to that part of you. And allow that part of you to go and give you any more information that she or he would like to give you. And just be open to any messages that are coming through for you now in this moment. And then because we only have a little bit of time, allow that part of you to go off on their own and thank them for the information they gave you. Or if they would like, allow them to step into your heart and let them know that you are here for them whenever you need them. And let them know that you love them with all your heart. So take some time to journal any thoughts and ahas you now have. And feel free to share any ahas and anything that's come up for you that you'd like to share in the comments. And so as we wrap up, I want you to know that hopefully by now you know if you are experiencing chronic pain or stress that you don't have to live with it. It doesn't have to be that way. And by now you know that you are not alone. There's 50 million people with chronic pain and 40 million people with anxiety. It's an epidemic.
Yeah.
That's happening not just in our country, but all over the world. So there's something you can do about it. I want to invite you to take control of your health and your life and get my book, The Energy Medicine Solution: Mind-Blowing Results to Live a Fabulous Life. In the book, you are going to learn 25 pain and stress relieving techniques. And secondly, I want to get right down to the nitty-gritty and help you get past whatever is causing your pain and stress in your life. And the way we do this is you and I get on Zoom and we have a conversation. And just like Sally, who spoke to me once, and we identified what the baggage she was carrying and was immediately lifted, that can happen for you. The book is $25 and you can get it at this link. You can also get it on Amazon. The one-to-one conversation with you and me is a $250 conversation that I'm giving to you for free today. This is your chance to jump and say, yes, I want to do something about this. I don't want to feel this way anymore. I know I can feel better. So let's schedule that one-to-one conversation. Go to the link, click on my calendar link, and schedule your time today. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. The phone number is 860-307-0232. You can also email me at jacqueline@jacquelinemkane.com and visit my website, jacquelinemkane.com. Again, thank you for being here.